Hi, my name is Jimmy Williams with NFL Draft Diamonds. And I have a diamond in the rough for you guys and me today. His name is Nick DeGennaro. He is a wide receiver out of Richmond. Nice to have you on, sir.
Appreciate you very much. Thanks for having me.
So yeah, if people really don't know you yet, they're gonna because I do feel like you are probably one of the most athletic wide receivers at the small school level who maybe perhaps has a chance of hearing his name called in the draft. After this season is up. Nick, if you can go ahead, give us a little bit of your background, tell us where you're from, and start us off with your story.
Yeah, so I'm originally from Staten Island, New York. That's where I was born when I was very young. We moved over the bridge to Old Bridge, New Jersey. Um, the same area. I think I'm less than 20 miles from where I was born. So just the East Coast guy, normal, just like everybody else. Ended up going to the Hun School of Princeton in high school. Got a good opportunity to go there. And for 2 years, I actually transferred from my high school when I wanted to be serious about ball. And had a pretty successful career there, 2 years there. Ended up being blessed with the opportunity to go to college on a scholarship to the University of Maryland. And after 2 seasons there, I decided to transfer to Richmond. And that's why we're here. That's why I'm talking to you now. I've had some pretty good success, and hopefully this continues to progress.
Right, right. So just a quick recap on my end. You know, New York to New Jersey to University of Maryland, and then ultimately there at University of Richmond.
Hmm.
I was trying my best to do a little bit of a background story on you just to try and get some of the early info on you, playing, football in high school. Like you said, attended the Hun School of Princeton in New Jersey. And also have in my notes that you did a little bit of track and field in your day. You were a pretty decent athlete, back in the day. So what do you remember most about your high school days?
Um, well, funny fact about the track stuff. My head coach was the track coach, and he said, "Hey, I think you should probably run track." And I was like, I might just lift for the year." He goes, "You freaking running track." So, but he allowed me not to go to practices. I just lifted and I just showed up to the meets, and I think I did all right. But what I remember most from high school was when I went to Hun, it was super competitive. I mean, we just had one of my former teammates, Caden Wallace, lineman out of Penn State, get drafted to the Patriots. We had a running back, Josh Henderson. I think he's going to play in the pros. He just played his last year at Indiana. He was at UNC. We had a tight end go to Georgia Tech. We had Power Five guys all over the place, and I was just this little 5'10", 170-pound kid my first year there. So it was super competitive, and I met some of my best friends over there who are all Division I athletes, whether they're football, baseball, lacrosse, and um, so they told me how to really work hard and be serious about it. Once I started to have the desire to be really serious about ball, it was a super fun experience. It was far from my house. The Hun School was a little over an hour from my house, so my first year I was driving, and the second year I ended up staying with my best friend at his house because his two brothers were away. So it was an interesting experience, very formative experience.
I can't imagine that commute daily, 1 hour each way. I've done it for work's sake. I get that, but I mean going to school is a different thing, when you're still a teenager. I don't know if I could have uh done it myself, but obviously you did it for a year until you were able to make it work out with one of your buddies. Nice. Like you said, a lot of guys coming out of the Hun School, going Division I, and you yourself being one of them, obviously going to Maryland first. Talk about that. You being recruited out of high school and then ultimately going to Maryland first.
Well, I mean, I wanted to go to a bigger school. I mean, at first I really just wanted to go to college for free. I mean, you know how that is. It's tough to have student loans on your back for the rest of your life. So I wanted to go and play ball for free, and I ended up getting a lot of opportunities. Richmond actually being one of them, but I ended up ultimately choosing Maryland, and I just wanted to, test my shot at a bigger school. I was confident. I wanted to compete and get better and go against some really good guys, which, I thought up there, you know, I was right with them, and it was a good experience. At first, I had some coaches who brought me there who ended up leaving at first. I mean, after my first year, and it was just after a whole lot that I probably can't even get into the depth of the story, nor do I even want to. But it was a good option to leave at the time. It was a good time to leave, and I think God brought me to Richmond, back to Richmond, after I almost came here out of high school, and that full circle moment is not a coincidence, I think, and I'm just grateful to be here.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with going to the FBS and then obviously coming to FCS. I mean, I think oftentimes, and I don't know if this is your case, and you don't need to go through it, but you go to a big school and you kind of get forgotten in that whole depth chart. And some guys just don't get the opportunities to get on the field. But obviously, Richmond also very good school. And so you go to Richmond, you're the guy there. You're the guy there now at wide receiver, and so a pretty big different experience, and so you ultimately transferred to Richmond, which it sounds as if that was kind of gonna happen. Was there any other like options? I mean, I know you had to portal it, and I don't know if there was anyone else that might have given you another offer.
Well, yeah, I mean, just the first touch on the experience at Maryland, and my freshman year, I want to shout out my wide receiver coach Joker Phillips, who was there my freshman year. He's now at NC State. I think he's still there. He was an awesome guy. He really believed in me, and he gave me every shot. Like when I was, if he was still there, I probably would have ended up staying, and probably ended up having a good career there. I just think that once you change staffs or offensive staffs, and there's a lot of politics up there, so that kind of swept me under the rug, I think. And I also think that there was a lot of things, me as a young kid in college, that I probably didn't help my case. So there's a lot of things going on there, and but I think that coming to Richmond, I wasn't even the guy at Richmond. I had a lot of opportunities out of the portals, FBS, FCS, and I came here with my quarterback who was at Richmond, Reese Udinsky, who was a transfer from VMI. But I was the number four really at Richmond. I mean, we had a grad transfer who was a dog, Jake Harris, who was from BMI, who was Reese's best friend, 6'5". He was great. We had two other receivers who did really well. I kind of wasn't really viewed as somebody who was, you know, all that when I first came into Richmond because I didn't really do much. And so I think that come after last year, I really think that it kind of just happened the way it happened. I don't even think they thought the highly of me anyway either going into this year, to be quite frank with you. So it's just been God's work. And as much as I say that, I can look at my film and be disgusted. I think there's so many things I left on the field this past year that hopefully I could fix this year.
Yeah, you were talking about what did you say? It was Udinsky, right? Who
Yep.
came over with you, and I remember going out there. He obviously was able to connect with his former teammate, leaving guys like you kind of like waiting their turn. Which, dude, I feel like this is your turn now. I mean, you are the guy now for
Yep.
Richmond. If they don't know that yet, I don't know what to tell you. But I mean, obviously, you are the guy, and I will tell you on a lot of people's lists, when we look at some of these preseason scouting lists, dude, you're up there. Want to kind of at least let you know that. So, I mean, you're one of these guys who scouts are looking at. Scouts are legitimately looking at as
Yep.
possible small school guy who could hear his name called in the draft, which, here lately, these past few seasons aren't too many, but you certainly have that capability, at least in my opinion. Um,
Yeah.
for what it's worth, I am wearing a Richmond shirt, so I
I
mean,
was
I don't know how unbiased I can be, but hey, it is what it is. Um, well, obviously, right now, man, you are the guy. You mean you are the top wide receiver there at Richmond. So, go ahead and talk to me a little bit about the offenses that you have been a part of, and just kind of your role overall. Like, what type of receiver are we looking at?
well, man. I love our offense here. I shout out my offensive coordinator, Winston October. He's an he's an awesome man, and he's also an awesome coach. And we do a lot of crazy stuff. If you put on the film, every game's a different game. As far as our offense goes, we do so much stuff here. And Coach October is a CFL guy too, so we do a lot of funky stuff in the offense. And as far as my role goes, it varies every game. I mean, they really don't discriminate here on our offense. At any given time, it could be anybody, and that's the one thing about this offense that's a little bit unique. I mean, um, to describe the offense, I would say that. I think I had a great deal of success last year because I think I did a really good job having relationships with the quarterbacks. And obviously, I think I set myself apart, obviously, above any receiver in this conference. But um, it really does. I mean, you never know. I mean, I could be in the slot, I could be outside, but at the end of the day, we have some good receivers on this offense that could be really good this year. And if there's a team who's trying to take me away, you better watch out for, a couple of our other guys because you're gonna, they're gonna start going off. So I think we have a really interesting offense. I think we have a talented offense this year, and especially in our receiving corps, there's going to be some guys that you'd be surprised by. Especially, I think in the beginning of the season there might be some teams who kind of just think, oh, hey, number 11 is the only guy they got, and they might, try to key on me and stuff like that. But they're going to be surprised because this offense has a lot of weapons this year, and I think more than last year. And so I'm really excited to go see not only myself do well, but also, see my teammates do well, also, because that's going to be super fun when we all shine. So
Cool. So, Nick, what's your current height and weight these days? Let the people know a little bit what we're looking at here.
they're around 6 foot 194 right now.
So 6 foot 194. Is there a player in the league that you might compare yourself to? I mean, some people do, some people don't. I mean, I don't know, like if you're aspiring to be a particular guy at the next level or what.
I don't necessarily like have some guy who I'm like, I want to be like that. I think that I kind of see things, whether it's on TV or whether it's guys I'm training with or, you know, anything I may see and try to take an edge to my game. Like I was in Atlanta a couple weeks ago training with Mohamed Sanu at his place and Brandon Ayuk and just kind of an intimate training session. I know Mo from Jersey. He's an awesome guy, all pro receiver. He's been that man for a while. And just things like that. When I get opportunities like that to get around guys like that, I try to take and mimic what they do if I think I'm capable, if I think that matches kind of how I might want to play. I don't limit myself because I think that's kind of limiting. I mean, there's no other word for it. But if there's things that I see that are effective and I think I could do it, I'll do it. I'll try it. And if it doesn't work, we throw it out. And if it works, we keep it in the arsenal. So that's kind of how I go about it.
Gotcha. So, walk me through one of the favorite routes you like to hear when you know the ball's perhaps coming your way, man. What's the one route you love running for your quarterback?
Well, this year, this year I ran straight a lot of the time. But I'm kidding. We ran a lot of the route tree. But I think my favorite route to run, it's really tough. I mean, some of the favorite routes I wanted to run, we didn't really run this year. We had a couple plays where we ran some deep angle routes and stuff like that. And we have a couple fast guys on the team that had them do it. I played mainly outside, but getting in the slot and running stuff like that, cross routes. If we're in a bunch and we're running, deep angle routes, deep corners, comebacks from the outside. There's a lot of things I like to do. Um, Anything where I can really just show like my quickness, my speed or quickness to get open. I know that kind of sounds like it can apply to a lot of routes, but if you really think about it, it's
Sure.
not. There's some specific things where if you get in with a receiver coach, you can talk about like and based off of the spring, I really like running in the slot and running option routes and things like that, juke routes, option routes, and kind of showing a part of my game that maybe many people didn't really see last year. Get in the slot, showing that I'm quick. I think that's more of what I'm going to do maybe when I'm in the NFL. Um, but once again, I won't limit myself. But there's a lot. I mean, it's a tough question. I wouldn't say one particular
Hey,
route because I
dude,
like.
it's fine. And I realize it's a tough question because I think the I guess most common answer or maybe my favorite answer that I get from wide receivers is my favorite play is when the ball's coming my way. So I think everybody wants it that way, right? Does that sound about right? I
Yeah,
mean, let's be
yeah,
real.
I guess that sounds about right. I would say so.
So, we do get a little bit of stigma of like this diva as the wide receiver role. Do you see yourself like as that kind of person or what?
I wouldn't say so. I'm not going to try to play all hard or tough guy, but I wouldn't say I'm a diva. I don't really talk on the field. I mean, I'm pretty silent. That's what our wide receiver coach likes, calls the silent assassins. And honestly, it's funny because it pisses people off when they try to talk and you don't respond. But I'm one of three brothers, and my dad always told me that. But I wouldn't say I'm a diva. I would say I'm a pretty fiery guy.
Right.
Me celebrating out there. I have a lot of passion. I'm not a jerk on the field, but I'm very passionate and competitive. Um, And
Hey,
so I was,
you get it sometimes. So I mean, it's a fair question to ask. So
yeah,
um
100%.
so let's continue, man. I mean, obviously, you were at Maryland for a little bit. You've been at Richmond for a little bit. What's been some of your biggest highlights so far? Can you walk me through maybe one of your favorite plays or games that you've done out there?
There's a couple. So some of my favorite games, we played Delaware my first year here. Um, and we ended up, it was a super close game. We ended up driving down the field in a 2 minute where one of our receivers was an awesome player for us last year, Jerry Garcia. He didn't really play that year. He got in tempo. We're in our territory. However many seconds left in the game, and he runs down the field. Reese hits him for like a 40 something yard play down the middle. That's like his first catch of the game. Like he like saves the whole day. It was an insane game. We go down, kick a field goal, win the game. And then another one was we were playing Stony Brook out this year. It was a hell of a game. It was a mess. We had like a quarterback number 4 in. We threw 4 picks. It was raining. Tom inside and I look at each other at halftime or right before halftime, and we're like, we're gonna tell our kids about this game. Like this is so crappy, but we're gonna tell our kids about this game. We ended up winning the game. And then the last one was we played Rhode Island, and I forgot what part of the game it was, but we just get the ball back and we call a shot play. And I go tell my quarterback and my lineman, Ryan Cole, who's on the Falcons now, hey, throw me the ball. This is going to be a touchdown right here. And so I called the shot and it was like a 60-yard touchdown. And that was awesome. And then obviously the highlights winning the conference championship and winning playoff games is good. But this season was very eventful. The past 2 years have been super eventful.
Yeah, and let's just be real. For people who really don't pay attention to FCS ball, the CAA is legit. I mean, you are playing against some rough competition day in, week in and week out. I mean, just it's hard. It's really hard to win that, conference. I mean, any guy in that conference, any team in that conference could legitimately win because, dude, it happens on the regular. But you guys, again, great season last year, went 9-4. What's it going to take for you guys to have just as good, if not a better season this year?
I think we got to dominate the line of scrimmage. Um, I mean, that's a pretty obvious answer, but as far as us, if we dominate the line of scrimmage on offense and defense, we're gonna be awesome. I think that our front seven on defense is going to be ridiculous this year. And I also think that our offensive line has a good shot. I mean, we have some guys who really need to step up. But I think that we're going to be good. I think we're a little thin at certain positions, but I think we have talented guys across the board. As long as we're a cohesive team and we win our one-on-one battles and we dominate the line of scrimmage. Seems pretty simple and cliche, but that's what we have to do. I think that we could have done a little bit better in certain games if we were able to do that. And then just guys knowing what they're doing and knowing their assignments and being where they're supposed to be when they're supposed to be there. And I think that we have a lot of experience coming back more than I think it says on paper. And so I think that it's going to be exciting.
Gotcha. Is there any particular game this season that you have circled on the calendar or what?
I mean, I got all of them. I mean, every game is an interview for all of us. I mean, me as somebody who wants to go to the NFL and maybe get into a ball game or something like that. Every one of them is an interview. And if I treat them all like that, then there's no pressure for each one, for a single one. So I know we play guys like UVA this year. We play good teams like Delaware. And we play, big game in William and Mary every year. They're home this year. They're at our place this year. But, treat them like every game and you go out and play and just let your practice and your work show and whatever God's plan is on that field, it's going to happen. And so for me, I really don't have much stress. I'm just excited for all of it and just to see what God's got in plan in store.
Cool. Definitely something to look forward to this season. I've gone to Richmond games the past couple seasons, so I mean, I'm most likely going to at least go to one of them myself, but certainly something to look forward to this year.
No doubt.
Nick, what else about you want people to know, man? Give me a little, I guess, something, your likes, dislikes, hobbies, interests, passions, dude, anything you want to share and tell people about you other than that of a football player.
I would say if you meet me, I'm from New Jersey, so I mean we may look and sound pretty mean, but we're really not. I think I'm a pretty funny guy, I would say. I like to make people smile and laugh. Um, as far as hobbies, right now it's all ball. I mean, I like spending time in nature. I'm learning Spanish right now. Speak pretty good Spanish at this point. It's been about a year and a half. I would say that that's pretty good. I know an interviewer is going to put me on the spot, and I'm going to have to speak maybe one of these days, but that'll be fun. And I like listening to good music, like spending time with the guys and having good quality time. I like seeing my family. I don't see them as much as I want to, but we're doing big things down here, and that's good. And
Gotcha.
I think I'm just more normal than I mean, I'm a normal cat,
All
normal
right.
cat.
Um, just to kind of play off of what you said, just a couple of really quick questions, just kind of a question answer period. So, you'd mentioned things like, you feel like you're a funny guy. Like, is there a particular comedian that you like to listen to
I
or
mean,
watch?
as far I wouldn't say I'm comedic funny. I'm more quick-witted funny for sure. I mean, if you want to be in my family and get a word in edgewise, you better have something nice to say or funny to say. But I mean, we just watched the Shane Gillis special, all the guys in here, a couple days ago. He's hilarious. There's a bunch of guys out there who are just funny. I mean, comedy these days is a weird world to kind of get into, with whatever's going on. But I like a good laugh. I mean, we're on a football team in a locker room. I mean, there's gonna be laughs every day. And that's one of my favorite things about this is laughing every day. I mean,
But you yourself, do you ever see yourself like, being a guy to do some stand up or no?
no, I wouldn't say stand up, but I would say if you put me on a podcast, it'd be pretty dangerous. And if any of my friends see this, they're gonna say, please don't go on that podcast. They get shut down right away. So, but no, I think I would say just more like, I wouldn't say locker room funny, but more like in the situation.
No,
I
I
mean,
got you. Quick-witted is what you
if you ever
said
dealt with
earlier.
people on the East Coast, all of us are funny. It's just about it's funny points of views and ways to kind of gash at people and stuff. I think that's what I like because it makes people smile. And I think that that feels good when you get to make people laugh.
Gotcha. Best pizza place in your hometown.
Hometown, I'm gonna say in New Jersey, all of it. I would say down Mercer County, Di Lorenzo's Pizza. If my best friends would kill me if I said anything else, but I would say Di Lorenzo's Pizza in Robbinsville, New Jersey. It's an unbelievable place. You got that tomato pie. Unbelievable. Me and my buddies are all fanatics of the best pizza places ever. I could direct you around New York City and New Jersey if you want, but Di Lorenzo's has my heart for sure.
Well, I definitely had to throw that question out there. I appreciate you, giving the hometown a little bit of love. But Nick, I do need to, close up our time here. Dude, obviously, we're talking under the, platform of you trying to put together a solid season this upcoming year so that these scouts, they're going to fall in love with you and they're going to bring you into their team. So, as we close up shop, tell them what kind of player you'd be if they took a chance on you. So go ahead and give them your pitch.
I would say for me as a football player, I just love football. I mean, I'm the type of guy who just loves being in a facility, rotting around guys and talking football and learning and making this a life out of it. I think that I could say the whole thing about I'm hardworking, I'm fast, I can jump pretty decent, I can catch the football. Everybody can do that in the NFL, but I would say I really like ball, and I think that my ceiling for learning is so much higher than I think maybe people think it is. Whether it's skills, whether it's the mental side of the game, um, I'm just so eager to learn, and I'm not an issue off the field, which is pretty big. But I would also say that I want this to be my life for as long as possible as a player, and I think that it's a genuine desire, and it comes from a really good place. So I think that as far as that goes, there's nothing superficial about my career here. I mean, we could talk about making money, being successful, but I want this to be my life as a player, and I want to do this because I want to make whether it's my parents proud or myself proud, and kind of put on for where I'm from, and just really make this a life. And so that's what I foresee happening.
Well, definitely believe that you're gonna have a solid season this upcoming year and beyond, Nick. So I want to wish you all the best this year, and I'm pretty sure I'll see you somewhere along the way.
I appreciate that very much.
Again, we got with us Nick DeGennaro. He is a wide receiver out of Richmond. Got to check him out this upcoming year.
Thank you.